Hi, my name is Deidre Hahn, and in this video, I'll be discussing two theoretical perspectives I plan to use for my social map project: intersectionality and the conflict perspective. Both perspectives explain how power, inequality, and social structures shape people's experiences within the system. I'll explain each perspective and then show how they apply to my project. Intersectionality is a framework that looks at how different aspects of a person's identity, such as race, gender, class, and sexuality, interact to shape their experiences. This concept was developed by Kimberly Crenshaw. The key idea is that people don't experience inequality in just one way. Instead, multiple forms of discrimination can overlap and create unique challenges. For example, the experience of a woman may be different depending on her race or economic status, so instead of looking at social categories separately, intersectionality looks at how they combine. In class, we discussed social identity and class, and intersectionality connects directly to that by showing how layered and complex inequality really is. For my social project, this perspective will help me understand how different groups experience the same system differently, rather than assuming everyone is affected in the same way. The conflict perspective focuses on power, inequality, and competition within society. It is based on the work of Karl Marx, who argued that society is shaped by struggles between different groups, especially over resources and power. This perspective highlights who has power and who doesn't, how resources are distributed, how inequality leads to conflict and social change. And in class, we talked about power dynamics in different cultures and different social contexts. And this perspective helps explain why some groups benefit more than others when interacting within the system. For my social map project, the conflict perspective will allow me to identify where power imbalances exist and how they influence access to opportunities and resources. Together, these two perspectives provide a deeper understanding of the social system I am mapping. The conflict perspective helps identify where inequality and power imbalances exist, while intersectionality explains how those inequalities affect people differently based on their identities. For example, in a system like education or housing, conflict perspective shows unequal distribution of resources. Intersectionality shows how these inequalities impact groups differently depending on race, gender, or class. Using both of these perspectives allows me to analyze both the structure of inequality and the lived experiences of individuals within that system. In conclusion, intersectionality and the conflict perspective are important tools for understanding social systems. Together, they allow for a more complete and critical analysis of inequality and power. I am excited to apply these perspectives to my social map project to better understand the complexities within the system.